Once upon a time, in a peaceful meadow surrounded by towering trees and vibrant flowers, there lay a tiny seed nestled in the soft earth. It was small and quiet, almost hidden among the grasses. But it held within it an unspoken dream. Every day, as the breeze whispered through the tall trees and the sun bathed the meadow in warmth, the little seed would look up at the mighty oaks and the towering pines that stood proudly above it. The seed couldn't help but feel a longing deep within its heart. I wish I could be like them, it thought. Strong, tall, and important. I want to stand proud like those trees. I want to be something more than just a little seed. The seed often dreamt of growing tall and being admired by all who passed by. It imagined how its branches would sway gracefully in the wind, how it would shelter birds in its branches and children in its shade. But, despite its hopes, the little seed often felt small, insignificant, and unsure of how it could ever become what it longed to be. One day, as the sun peeked over the horizon and the morning light filtered through the leaves, a wise old oak tree, ancient and full of wisdom, overheard the seed's quiet whispers. The oak tree had stood in the meadow for hundreds of years, weathering countless storms and seasons. It had watched the world change, and in its quiet patience, it had learned many lessons about growth and resilience. The oak tree leaned down towards the little seed, its deep, weathered branches creaking in the morning breeze. "Little seed," the oak tree said, its voice kind and warm, "within you lies the potential to be something great. You may not see it now, but it is there. All you need is a little courage and patience. Trust the process, for growth comes in its own time." The little seed was startled by the oak's words. It listened carefully, feeling the weight of the oak's wisdom. And for the first time, a sense of hope stirred within its tiny core. It realized that maybe, just maybe, there was something inside it that could one day allow it to grow tall and strong, just like the trees it admired so much. "I will trust in your words," the seed thought, as it closed its eyes and promised itself that it would give growth a chance. It made a vow to remain patient and to believe that, in time, it too would become something magnificent. But the journey ahead was far from easy. The seed found itself buried deep in the cold, dark soil, where it could no longer see the light of the sun. It felt trapped, alone, and helpless. Days passed, and the silence of the earth around it grew louder. At times, the seed wondered if it would ever make it out, if it would ever taste the warmth of the sun or feel the gentle breeze against its leaves. Fear crept into the seed's heart. What if it was stuck in the soil forever? What if it would never grow? What if its dream of becoming a mighty tree was nothing more than an impossible wish? But then, the seed remembered the words of the wise oak tree. "Within you lies the potential to be something great," it echoed in the seed's mind. With those words, the seed found a new strength. It decided to hold on to hope, to trust that even though it could not see the sunlight or the sky, the day would come when it would rise. The seed stayed strong, waiting for the right moment to push forward. Weeks turned into months, and during this time, the seed faced many trials. The weather was harsh, the rains came heavily, and the winds howled through the meadow. But through it all, the seed held on, its tiny body enduring the cold, the wet, and the weight of the earth pressing down upon it. There were moments when it felt like giving up, when the darkness seemed all-consuming. Yet, despite the struggle, the seed stayed rooted, anchored in the earth, holding tight to the hope that someday it would emerge. And one day, as if the earth itself had decided it was time, something incredible began to happen. A tiny sprout pushed up through the soil, reaching toward the surface. The sprout felt weak and fragile at first, unsure of what lay above. But it felt the pull of the sun, the warmth of the light, and the promise of something greater. It stretched its tiny leaves upwards, eager to see the world above, eager to feel the air and the sun on its leaves. The sprout pushed harder, slowly but steadily, until it broke free from the earth and emerged into the open air. For the first time, the sprout felt the warmth of the sun on its tiny leaves and the gentle caress of the breeze. It was alive. And it was free. As it looked up, it marveled at the sky, its first taste of the world above the ground. Over time, the sprout grew stronger. Its roots dug deeper into the earth, anchoring it firmly, while its tiny leaves began to reach higher, stretching toward the sky. Each day, it grew a little taller, a little stronger, and a little more confident. The seasons changed, bringing with them both challenges and growth. With each passing day, the young plant learned to adapt to the forces of nature, the rains, the winds, the changing temperatures. It learned to bend without breaking, to sway without snapping. As the young tree grew, it faced many challenges. Strong winds tested its branches. Storms shook its leaves. And sometimes, it felt as though it might break. There were moments when the young tree questioned whether it had the strength to continue. But, just as it had learned from the very beginning, it found solace in its roots. The more it faced adversity, the deeper its roots grew, anchoring it further into the earth. The young tree learned that growth wasn't always smooth, but each challenge made it stronger. It learned that even when life seemed overwhelming, its strength lay in its ability to bend, to endure, and to keep growing. And as the years passed, the tree grew taller and taller, its branches spreading wide and its trunk growing sturdy and thick. It had become one of the tallest and most majestic trees in the meadow. The tree now stood proudly, offering shelter to birds, shade to children, and beauty to all who passed by. Its leaves danced in the wind, a testament to the strength it had gained from years of growth. The once small seed had blossomed into a symbol of hope and perseverance. One day, the wise old oak tree, now even older and with its branches heavy with age, looked over at the young tree. It had watched the young tree grow, and it saw the strength it had gained through years of patience and perseverance. The oak tree smiled, a deep, knowing smile, and said to the young tree, "Do you see now? You always had the strength within you. You just needed to believe in yourself and keep growing, even when it was hard." The young tree swayed gently in the breeze, understanding the oak's words. It remembered how, once upon a time, it had been nothing more than a tiny seed, unsure and afraid. But through patience, courage, and perseverance, it had grown into something magnificent. Now, standing tall against the sky, the tree understood that the journey was not just about reaching a certain height. It was about the strength gained along the way, the challenges overcome, the fears faced, and the growth that had taken place. The tree was not just a tree. It was a symbol of what could be achieved with faith in oneself, with perseverance, and with the willingness to keep pushing forward. Even when the path was unclear, it had become something more than just strong. It had become a source of shelter, joy, and inspiration for others. And in that moment, the tree realized that the struggles it had faced had shaped it into something truly extraordinary. The tree stood tall, not just for itself, but for everyone who had been touched by its journey. It had become more than just a part of the meadow, it had become a beacon of hope. A reminder that within every challenge lies the opportunity for growth. The tree's story, like the stories of all who struggle and grow, would continue to inspire others to believe in themselves. For just as the tree had emerged from the darkness of the soil to become the tallest in the meadow, so too could anyone rise above their own challenges to become something truly remarkable.